¿Me estás grabando?
Respuesta. Muy
Ja.
bien. A ver, ¿qué es lo contrario? Tiara. Tiara, muy bien.
Hey everyone, it's Mari. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the My Little Pony movie that has just been announced. It is a live action of My Little Pony. I when I heard about this, I thought in my head that this movie is going to be about the uh main the main six. I was a little doubtful because I saw that a lot of articles had the main five, the new generation ponies in the pictures. But in all honesty, thinking about it in a like logical sense, like production wise, budget, the the story for new generation in a CGI with like real people, real actors, I mean, it just doesn't really make sense. It's too fantasy. Like they show not Cloudsdale, but like their version of the new generation version of like the new city that's because it really is a city. It's like a city in the clouds, which is a really cool concept by the way. I really, really liked My Little Pony New Generation. I I really don't have the same opinion about the generation movie, not movie, series. The series to me was too it didn't have the complexity that My Little Pony does, and it just didn't have the same charm. I like the characters, I think they're cool and how they interact, but the series just could have done so much more with their characters, honestly, and they could have really been fleshed out more. I think that it's a very, cliche. I think it's more for kids, which makes sense. The franchise is not really for young adults now. They're trying to appease more to the younger audience. I think that they're going to be doing the same thing for this movie. Though if they are doing the main six, which is the, original cast of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, then they might have to revert back to the original audience for that. And still, of course, to appease the younger audience, but do a sort of middle ground, a balance between that. So, this in mind, how would that look like? This new movie. At least in my eyes, I really wanted to start off with Twilight and my interpretation of how she would look like in this movie. So, everything I'm drawing here is just my interpretation of it. It's like not something that is canon yet or something that's actually been said. So, just take my interpretation however you'd like. But for at least for me, I would love for this movie to be more dark fantasy. I know that that's kind of difficult to do, at least like at least how I have it in my head. Um but I would really like for it to be focused on the story more so on Luna Celestia and then the ponies, kind of like how Sonic the Hedgehog they did. They started off with Sonic and kind of like backstory there, and then they went into the other backstories of the other characters. I kind of want them to do the same thing for this one, where they're focusing more like Twilight and then Celestia and their relationship. She is Twilight. She is very indifferent in the series, and like in the just in the beginning she's very indifferent. She is still in the beginning stage of I don't want to make friends and I then make friends by going to Ponyville, hence the assignment that was given to her by Celestia. She needs to make friends anyways. And in that whole process where she's, with this indifference and always studying, I was thinking that the movie could kind of emphasize that a little bit, have her be this like book nerd, the one who's always like researching like tiny bits of history because she doesn't really know too much of her teacher Celestia. And it's like, information that Celestia is keeping from her a little bit. So she kind of learns from books and by reading in the library herself. Like she learns this by herself. I would really, really like that they would interpret the first episode in a movie, like in this kind of movie, as a longer format, because it would really flesh out Twilight's character at first, and then when we get introduced to the other characters, it would be like, oh, like she has friends now. This is where we're moving the movie towards, where the message would come off a bit stronger, and it would also show a little bit of the backstory between Luna's banishment. Well, let's say Nightmare Moon's banishment, and overall the story of Equestria, because this is very important to the lore. So anyways, I really, really like Twilight. If you can't already tell, she's one of my favorites. I just like her. I just really like her character. How in the beginning she's very honest. Um, she's very honest. She's very sarcastic too. Traits I kind of relate to. And she just loves books. Like this is literally me. I am really into books, and I can be kind of sarcastic sometimes, but working on it. Um but yeah, this is one of my favorites. And I think my second favorite would have to be, I think Pinkie Pie. I think Pinkie Pie is a really cute character, honestly. She's always making me laugh, but I guess that's what Pinkie's character is supposed to be. But anyways, another idea I have for the movie of how it would look like would be to have the settings, since it's like a medieval period. Let's be honest here, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, it has straw houses, it has jockeys. The Crystal Empire, come on now. Like, hey guys, Editor Mari here. I mentioned in the video that My Little Pony is inspired by the medieval times. I didn't mean to say that the whole show is the medieval times. Like, they are in the medieval times. I know that I sounded really confident when I said this, but that's not what I meant to say. Anyways, yeah, just a little nitpick of mine. Back to the video, I guess. Everything is pointing towards medieval century. I've seen so many memes of people posting where they just cannot figure out for the life of them what century, what period is My Little Pony set in. And to me, like, yeah, they have Manhattan and everything, and they have those other, more modern cities, but the overall, like, the way that it's structured, in like how magic is supposed to be like one of the biggest, in the hierarchy system, let's be honest, unicorns are placed on top. They're the like standard is magic, and using magic is like the standard here. Or well, actually that would be higher standard, because obviously like it's harder to gain unless you're, obviously a unicorn. But but yeah, since it's in a higher, and they're using scrolls, and that's how you kind of learn, obviously, the history. And they're still using scrolls, they're not really using phones or anything, not up until New Generation. Then this is a kind of older society, and everything seems to be built on like more natural elements, and like straw, like I mentioned, the straw houses and everything. Then I would really, really like it if it had the same aesthetic as the Beauty and the Beast movie, the live action Beauty and the Beast movie, with Emma Watson and everything. This is kind of how I had pictured Twilight to be. It's sort of like Emma Watson and as Belle in Beauty and the Beast. It's kind of similar character if you think about it. They're very similar. And also the town and just the setting. I could totally imagine this being like in the movie, sort of like here we have the setting, it's like kind of Beauty and the Beast, and then we also have obviously like um that lore of, of friendship is magic, where there's obviously going to be changes because of the Everfree Forest, which is very important, by the way, in episode 1, because the girls kind of go into the Everfree Forest. That's like what, they have to go to the castle of the two sisters, and that's how they defeat Nightmare Moon, which they don't really defeat her. She just gets um what's the word they love using in that show when you revert a character to good. It's the word is actually escaping me right now, but should I keep this in? Yeah, I'll keep it in. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I'll find it later. I'll put it on the screen actually. Like this is the word I meant to use. Anyway, reformed. Oh my god, I don't even need to put it in because I've already thought about it. Anyways, reformed Nightmare Moon into Luna. Those are my two big like ideas for this movie. Like if I was a director for the movie, I would totally be like, "Hey guys, Beauty and the Beast. Okay, we're doing Beauty and the Beast and we're also doing the lore of episode 1. Got it? Got it." Oh, and also focus on Twilight because she is very important. So yeah, that's like my little thoughts on the how the movie would go for a sequel. If they were to make a sequel, that's kind of, you know, that's a reach. Honestly, it's not. I feel like they could make a sequel. If they were to make a sequel though, I would really like for it to be about the about Chrysalis and Cadence Crystal Empire. Um if you know, you know, This Day of Naria. Um that story, it feels like a movie in of itself. It feels like a Disney movie if you watch it. I'm gonna put up the episode on the screen, so whoever wants to like watch that episode of My Little Pony, I really recommend it. It's one of the best episodes of MLP. I would honestly say, um, one of my favorite episodes of My Little Pony, is Pinkie Pride, and um, and yeah, in that episode, I keep forgetting the episode title, but I really, really like those two episodes. Because My Little Pony is so loved, making a movie about the main six, I know is gonna be very nostalgic for people. This might even be considered like nostalgia bait, honestly. Um, so it all goes down on how they direct it and the direction they're going, definitely moving forward for the movie and just their ideas in general. Right now, I'm very hopeful, and like I'm hopeful in the sense that like they're gonna make an okay movie. Not hopeful in the sense that like my bar is super, super high in the sky right now. It's really not. It's kind of more in the middle. Just because, uh, um, realistically, I don't think that they're gonna make this dark fantasy movie that I have in my mind. They're gonna be making something else, which also excited about if they do something else on the topic of that, on something else. If they decide to make Equestria Girls, if they decide to make Equestria Girls, they would be making the same movie. Let's be honest, okay? If they were to make the live action movie about the Equestria Girls, it would be the same exact movie as Equestria Girls. There would be no difference because in Equestria Girls are already humans. and the whole plot is in a movie. Because there's only 2 episodes in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, if you were to make those 2 episodes about the movie, then you would be fleshing out 2 episodes, and it would be, you would need to work around the fact that there are going to be actors instead of ponies. So seeing that, I think, would be so much more interesting than getting basically a revamp of Equestria Girls. So those are my thoughts. I have a bunch of thoughts on this movie. I could make a part 2 of this. I can make a whole series about this because honestly, this is a topic that really, really interests me, and I am really excited about what's coming up next, honestly. Please comment down below what you think this movie is going to be about, if you're going to watch it, if you're not going to watch it because you're like, no, this is going to be trash, or anything that you want to comment down. If you want to see more of me, please tell me because I would love to know. But that is going to be all for today. Thank you for watching and for listening to my endless thoughts about this movie. I hope you have a nice day. Bye.